So the affordable housing segment is not a super sexy business segment to be in, but what we found over time is that it's the assets that you acquire are not going to be sexy, but the balance sheet behind it will be. How I got involved in the in the affordable housing segment is basically I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada, and I was working a corporate job back home, but also investing in real estate as a kind of a side hobby and side income for myself. That was about 7 years ago in 2011. And around 2011 is when the stock market and the real estate market here in the U.S. really crashed. And my accountant approached me and said, look, there's a great opportunity in a city in the U.S. called Atlanta, where you can basically acquire a 120-room hotel for the same price you could acquire a 600 square foot condo in Vancouver. So that kind of boggled my mind. And to make a long story short, I came out here within 48 hours to kind of view the property. And I just saw the opportunity right off the bat. The real money to be made in affordable housing is really at the acquisition stage, where you're going to typically buy properties for pennies on the dollar if you're buying it at the right time in the right kind of area. So we acquired our first property. It was a 127-room Hampton Inn prototype, which had changed hands over the years and ended up going into bank foreclosure. And once again, we kind of got the property pennies on the dollar, and were able to kind of add some value to the property through renovations. And we really saw that there was an opportunity to get occupancy up to 90 to 100%, pretty much within about 60 days of acquiring the property. Primarily because Atlanta is one of those regions in the U.S. where there's such a huge need for affordable accommodation. So it was kind of a perfect storm. We were able to acquire the asset with very little capital. We were able to acquire it undervalued. And then on top of that, we were able to get occupancy up right away. So our cash flow was really great just because the need in the market was there. And I'd say if you look at a market like Atlanta overall, 70% of the population here to a certain extent is economically challenged to a certain extent, living paycheck to paycheck in some way, shape, or form. So affordable housing is a huge need for, I think, the general population here. And so if you are willing to kind of deal with a lot of the dynamics that go along with that from an operational perspective, then there's a huge upside in potential in terms of returns on what you can get in affordable housing. So that's kind of a little bit of how I got involved and kind of where we saw the value add.